Area shadows allow you to create shadows that fade over distance, and they're perhaps the most sophisticated shadow casting type. They work with a virtual object, and the size of that object determines the amount of blurring and fading that can occur. I'll open up the Area Shadows rollout, and down here you have the ability to set the dimensions of the area light. And you can choose the shape of that light up here. I'll just stick with a rectangular light that is, let's say, 1 foot in length and 1 foot in width. Now what this algorithm is going to do is cast multiple ray traced shadows from each corner of this rectangle, and then it will blur those 4 shadows together to create the area shadow. Let's take a look at it. I will clone the rendered frame window, and here we have the advanced ray traced shadow, and we'll do a test render of an area shadow over here. So we're getting a much more interesting effect here. The shadow appears denser the closer it is to the object, and the shadow fades out over distance the further away from the object that it gets. And if you look at shadows in the real world, this is exactly what happens. However, we've lost a lot of the detail that we once had in the advanced ray traced shadow. We can boost up the level of detail in the anti-aliasing options area by increasing shadow integrity and shadow quality. Let's make another test render. It's arguably more detailed, but it's very subtle. We can increase the detail by decreasing the size of the area light. I'll make it just 6 inches by 6 inches. There isn't as much spread now between the 4 shadows that are cast, so the detail will be a little bit more crisp. And you can see that is happening here. We're able to see the gap between the armrest and the seat now. However, we are not seeing the leaves of the tree. Area shadows also feature the optimizations rollout, where you have to explicitly turn on transparent shadows if that's what you want, because they do take more time to calculate. So it's up to you to enable that feature. So see how much more time that is taking. It looks a little bit better, but because these shadows are blurred, we aren't making out the individual leaf detail there. But perhaps we don't want to anyway. This gives us the notion of a shadow, and it is soft, just like a shadow might be in the real world. It's a good idea to observe shadows around you and get a feel for what you're trying to simulate here with 3ds Max or Viz.